And I held my head up high and I hate that silver line.
You know what I've been listening to all day?
Babe, tell him.
I'm on a fucking Creed kick, boy. The last 4 days straight, 98% of the music I've consumed has been Creed or Creed related.
Yeah, Kassem, you didn't have a voice last night.
I barely have a voice today. I'm thinking it sounds, I'm listening to myself right now. It sounds pretty good.
We went to a friend's birthday last night and there was a bunch of karaoke rooms and me, Kassem, and my friend went.
Your special friend.
My special friend went into a room and did karaoke for.
It felt like 15 minutes, but we were in there for like a solid hour.
Yeah, maybe even more when it comes to like, because we like
maybe
left,
an
there were
hour and a
like
half,
things going on. We'd go out, come back in, go out, come back in, and Kassem performed Creed and just blew the roof off
I'm glad
the
you said
place.
performed and not sang, because it was a performance in my head.
Full performance. It was sensational.
I don't care where you guys land on the, I don't listen to Christian rock, Creed's fucking corny. If you just listen to the top 4 Creed songs, you go to Apple Music and just go top songs, you play those 4, there is not a chance, pun intended, in hell that you don't sing along, you don't catch that chorus and just like wail at the top of your lungs, especially on My Sacrifice, Higher, with Arms Wide Open.
Any performance where like you can mumble the words and it feels just as pure as like saying the full. It almost feels better. Like it's better when you like mumble.
Yeah.
Creed.
The way he sings, it's like, you know, like if you're gonna talk, it would sound like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the way he sings that, it's very satisfying to sing like this. It's you're curling your tongue or you're doing with arms wide open.
Right, and it's like because he sounds a little goofy, it's like it's okay for you to do it, and you sound a little goofy,
and you can go way over the top, and it only sounds better the more crazy you get with it.
Yeah, we did No Doubt. What song was it?
Don't Speak.
Don't Speak, and you hit that guitar solo. You really knew you knew that in and out.
Oh, really? Yeah, my voice was shot. I think after I did My Sacrifice, the rest of the night, I was struggling to put words together. It just sounded very, very hard to listen to. A lot of squeaking I was doing.
Yeah, I did Living on a Prayer, and that's where my voice...
I gotta say, I've heard people do Bon Jovi before. I've been in karaoke situations and people pull the Bon Jovi out. And here's the thing with Bon Jovi, it is very performative, but you nailed the actual singing of it.
Thank you.
The pitch, the cadence, it was, you barely, like we all screwed up a word here and there for the most part with other songs, but you almost 100, if this was like a Guitar Hero, you 100%ed Bon Jovi. I didn't know you really had that in you. I didn't know you were a closet Jovi guy.
Yeah, I'm just like a music guy in that like I hear songs that I haven't heard in 20 years and I know like all the words, everything, but more than anything, I know like right when things come in and like right.
Your timing's exceptional.
I know those little things like
comedically as well. I think you have.
Yeah,
I think your time. I think your timing just in general is unreal. It's unmatched, unparalleled.
Thanks, babe. That's real.
We had a great
people
time.
Want to see. They want to see two guys in LA just complimenting each
two
other.
dolphins. Yeah,
two dolphins at the front of the boat. So Jamie's not here because she has COVID. Her husband has COVID.
Yeah.
They're fucking down.
Jack just got over COVID.
Yeah, her kids just got over COVID.
Yeah.
Now they both have COVID. And they're and I said to them, "How are you?" And they're both okay, but the only problem is they're like the hard part is like we have to parent. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we can manage COVID. It's then having two kids on top of that where you're like I'm just trying to make myself like feel better.
I could barely watch TV correctly when I had COVID. You know, you just like come in and out of a daze and you want to sleep.
Oh, you were a disaster on that 10th hour of video gaming. You were like, I can barely.
I couldn't clear the level.
Yeah, I could barely move my thumb, you know, but you did it, babe.
I did it. I beat Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow.
It's been so long since
What a
we've
soldier.
karaoke. This place that we went to, by the way, I've never been. Really, really fun. We don't go out like to bars ever.
And me and Kassem go everywhere together. So meeting each other out was very unique. You know, it was
Yeah.
like I was standing at the bar and all of a sudden you come rolling in and it was like, oh, hey, buddy. Like,
Yeah, I was waiting. I know that was weird. now that you say-
yeah.
because I was also dressed in a
You came in
full,
very Kramer.
Yeah.
You know?
full 80s attire. I had like 80s windbreaker, bright colors, and I was waiting for you in the lobby. I thought you were going to be, I thought there was one entrance. It turned out there was two, but I was at the other entrance and I'm just in the lobby and everyone that comes in is just regular dressed, like just, and they keep looking over to me and they just see this like very, very bright caricature of a human being. This is an 80s outfit that I wore a few years ago to an 80s night at Universal, but
that
it's
was-
available at Amazon, which we went to
Yeah, your birthday.
for my birthday. And
Sorry, guys, for who are watching this. I'm like clearing stuff out of my mouth because I just ate a honey mama.
oh yeah, just one?
Yeah, I just won. I just had a honey mama. So I'm just glad.
Could you imagine we got a Honey Mama sponsorship? That'd save you thousands.
I'll tell you, they could pay me in direct honey mamas. And for people who don't know, honey mamas is like a healthy chocolate.
But it doesn't taste healthy.
No, it does. And like, listen,
First bite, maybe a little chalky. The rest of the bites, it gets better the more you have it.
Oh, I've never noticed a first chocolate
First
bite.
bite's a little, it's not what you expect, but it is delicious. Highly recommend if you've got $15 to throw away on a square of chocolate.
It's the Peruvian chocolate one.
Yeah.
And they keep them in the refrigerator aisle. Take them out of the refrigerator aisle. Keep it in your on your counter for 24 hours and let them melt like a brownie.
Yeah.
Then we're cooking.
Now we're cooking.
We so what do we got? What's on the agenda? We're both like
Well, so can we talk
sober,
about this?
hungover.
Can we talk about this party a little bit?
Yeah. What do you talk about?
As two sober guys, we have a different sort of approach to parties.
Oh yeah.
When you drink, you kind of like have those first few drinks and then you just go where the party takes you. There's really no worry about like, do I want to dance or do I want to go over here? You just go. You're just having a good time. Before you know it, it's been 2 hours. You're sweaty and like somebody's like, we got an Uber, and then you're out. And then everything's kind of a blur. When you're sober, you kind of have to, at least we do because we're neurotic, we think about what part of the party we're taking part in and where we should be spending more of our time allocating resources. Like we spent some time in the karaoke room, which was sectored off from the rest of the party. And a couple times we were like, man, maybe we should go out and socialize. Because
Like they're like, oh, there's a performance or there's something going on. We're like, oh, should we go out there? But then like, even in between songs, we'd be like, are we not being social enough? Should we be out there in this? Where when you're drinking, like you think you could be with two people in the room. You're like,
That's
we're being
the party.
social as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So we had to like actively make the decision to leave the karaoke room, and we're like, all right, let's go like try and dance.
Yeah.
Let's
Which
go.
I didn't really, I was like, I could skip that. And
Yeah.
then you and the person I was with were like, no, we want to dance. And I'm like, okay, when you're sober and when you're there, you can't be selfish. So you're like, yeah, let's go out, dance. I never even put my 2 cents in.
Here's you were great. You got to understand, I'm with you the whole time mentally.
Oh, I know.
And I'm pushing myself
Totally.
to come out a little bit and do a little bit of dancing, even though I feel like I look stupid.
No,
I feel a little stupid, but I do.
But see, you got
glad.
not to interrupt you, but it's for a compliment.
Oh yeah, please.
You got the comedy down. So like, even if you look stupid at doing a dance or whatever, people go like, oh, he's doing the stupid dance thing.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, ha ha ha. Like you were doing like,
Yeah.
like funny shit. And
Yeah.
nobody's like, oh, he's trying to dance it. He's not killing it. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of one of the benefits of not being like a hot guy is like people don't take you seriously when you do stuff like that.
Right, like no
People
one's like,
just
oh,
write it
look
off
at
as
this guy
comedy.
thinking he's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're in like a neon $20 jumpsuit from Amazon and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like dancing around.
Yeah, people are just like, look at that wacky dude over there.
Totally.
He's having a great time. Well, look at that wacky guy.
And and especially now, like the older you get, but also like in this time we're in, like it becomes the cool thing. Like, you know, like
Sure.
when I first saw you, I was like, this fucking weirdo, this. And now I'm like, oh, Kassem's like the coolest friend. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I appreciate that. It's taken a lifetime of bullying to get to this point. And I wouldn't change it for the world, you know?
Yeah, but then you know
great
you don't want to be the guy who was like the high school quarterback who now is like 40 with the beer belly who never gets off the couch. You
Yeah.
know?
What's his name from Can't Hardly Wait? Remember that movie?
Yeah,
What's his name that was like the quarterback drinking beers? Comes back to the
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that's the one. Don't want to be that guy. What you want to be is the Special K, grow up and just be a fun dude. Seth Green. So yeah, it was nice. It was like 2 nights in a row that I was out super late. Yeah, the night before, and our audience is gonna love this. I was at Pride Night.
Yeah, you were with your gays.
I was with my fellow gays, and we were out there. Universal Studios. I will tell you guys this. Universal Studios has a few theme nights a year. Okay, of course, you guys all know Halloween Horror Nights. It's a shit show. It's impossible to like get through to a line in less than an hour. If you want to experience the rides, go to a Pride Night ride because it's only open from 9 to 1 Universal Studios. So everyone that bought a regular Universal Studios pass has to leave the park. The park is only open for people that bought Pride tickets, but all the rides are.
That doesn't sound inclusive.
It's not. It's true segregation. All the rides are open. So for Jurassic Park, that takes, I don't know, what, an hour to get through normally. You just walk right through and to the front.
Are the tickets for Pride Night more expensive?
No, they're like...
straight people just don't want them.
They don't want them. The amount of... We got there right when they were opening. The amount of people, like it was a mass exodus of families, of people leaving. They're like, we don't want any part of it.
And it's a bunch of people who didn't hate gay people before, but now they do a little.
Now they do because they feel like they're getting special treatment. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you're in it, if you're a roller coaster person or you like the attractions, not only do you get to go to the front of the line on just about every ride with no wait, you also get DJs. There's like 4 DJs spread out through the whole thing, pumping, pretty extreme music. And there was a drag show right in the middle of it, which is, I think those are fun.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So that's my tip. That's my hot tip. Go to a Pride Night event if you can stomach it.
What do you dress like to go to Pride Night?
I just dress regular, except I cut the sleeves.
Oh, I think it's like you cut it at the midriff. Yeah, you just let that. Well, you maybe would have like a year ago when you were working out.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Guys, what we love is BetterHelp keeps coming back to this pod probably more than any other sponsor, which means our sponsors come back the most when you guys use it the most, which shows that the last couple of years have been rough for everybody, and people have been using BetterHelp to get through it, or also some people listen to us when we say things don't need to be bad to go to therapy. Sometimes people wait until there's water rushing on the boat, where it's like, hey, if there's a little water on the boat, maybe you got to get it off, right, Kass?
That's right. I mean, how well would you take care of your car if you knew you were going to have the same car for your entire life?
Wow.
BetterHelp is an online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat therapy sessions. Basically, you can get matched with a actual real-life therapist within 48 hours of signing up on the BetterHelp app. You have access to this person all week. Not only is this a licensed professional, but it's also much cheaper than traditional talk therapy. I know I've done both. And having the ability to do it all online kind of saves a lot of the time in like trying to find a therapist, which I found to be very difficult. And a lot of it's based on word of mouth. So everyone on the app is vetted and thoroughly vetted and certified. And if you don't like the therapist that you have, guess what? They can match you with another one within another 48 hours. So
our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/pajama. That's BETTERHELP.com/pajama.
Shady Rays. I've seen Shady Rays all over TikTok because I'm a big TikTok head now.
I think out of all the sponsors we've had, they're the craziest. The fact that they offer, if you lose your sunglasses, if you break your sunglasses, even if it's on day one, they will send you a new pair of sunglasses.
That's right. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn, durable frames, and extremely clear polarized lenses for outdoor living and beyond. Just like Rob said, if you lose them, you break them, they'll send you a new one. And if you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within the first 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back.
Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to SHADYRAYS.com and use promo code PAJAMA for 50% off when you buy 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses.
That's right.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jamie. I feel bad that she is.
Yeah,
she's sick with anything. I don't care what, if it was a fucking cold, if it was a fucking flu, if it was whatever.
Look, is this 2 weeks in a row she hasn't been here now? Or was she here last week?
I think she was not here last week, right? Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, everyone's going to be missing her big time. Look, we miss her too.
Yeah.
We miss her just as much as you guys. COVID and her new gig and her having kids. I'm surprised she's made as many pods as she has. When we all three of us started doing the pod, I was like, this girl is so busy. I don't know how she does this. There's probably going to be a lot of pods where it's just going to be me and you.
Yeah.
But she's made 99% of them.
She's the best. Yeah, she fucking, and for no money. Imagine if we were making money, be 100%. She'd be fucking on here with the IV drip right now.
Yeah.
Just fucking pushing through.
Yeah, that's all she cares about is the paycheck. Well, what about this abortion stuff? That's the hottest thing in the world right now.
I'm not on social media, so and I understand it's like a big issue, but I don't know the
You don't need to. I want to know what you heard and what your initial reaction to it was.
What I heard?
Like what you heard about it? Like how'd you hear about it? What did you hear?
Well, the friend that I brought to the party is staying with me, and she's like, oh, like she woke up before me, and she's like, yeah, you hear that? Like, whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. But like, what I was telling you is like when there's, and I'm sure, people who listen to this podcast are going to be like, well, I don't, and that's fine. But just the way
you guys can start your own pod.
Just the way that I live and the people I happen to surround myself with, like any social topic that you can bring up, whether it's COVID, vaccines, or this, even like a gay pride week. This, I feel like, because I know people who are fucking 70 years old, 80 years old. I knew people who grew up in New York City they're not mindful about fucking anything. I know people who are in the middle. I know people who are all the way on. I feel like I know people who are on like every side of every argument. Yeah. And then this is the one thing where like in my life, I don't know anyone when it was like, we took women's abortions away and someone was like, finally. Like, like the high fives who were like, well, that's goddamn fucking right. They like all that work. Like, I just, and I hear people saying like men shouldn't make laws about women's bodies. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
It sounds fine. And I would have to imagine everyone that listens to this pod, I mean, I don't want to speak for you all, but I would imagine if we polled everyone, it would be at least 80% people that think this is like fucked up. Yeah. Because most of the people I'd say that listen to this pod are from LA, New York. They're from the coasts. And from the coasts are generally people that are a little bit more progressive and like aren't religious. And this is a solely like a religious thing.
Right. And I feel, and I don't know what the percentage is, but I feel like a good amount of the people, I don't know what it could be 40%, it could be whatever, that say that they're for this.
It is 40%. Like nationwide, it's 60% are for abortion and 40% are against abortion.
No, that's not what I was going to say. But thank you.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were splitting it up. Okay.
No. If I'm saying like if the people who are against abortion, if you take 100% of the people who are against abortion, I'd say if you take 40% of them, when it really came down to it, they'd be for abortion. Like if it happened to them and they were in some fucking crazy circumstance where it's like, oh, you're fucking, this person raped this or whatever. There's going to be this complication during pregnancy that if the pregnancy goes full term, it's going to be this. Could risk this person's life. It's like, yeah, I think like I think a lot of people would quickly change their tune. Totally. Maybe if they were married and happened to get some side chick pregnant, like things of this nature.
And it usually is those people that are the ones that are speaking up for the ban on abortion, like in Congress and stuff. It's always the hypocritical sort of Christian Republicans that are the ones that, if you dig deep, they were like, it's the ones that are like are anti-gay marriage are the ones that like are secretly caught like fucking gay hookers. It's like always the ones that are closeted about the issue are the ones that are so vocally against it.
Right. It's like I from the outside seem like the healthiest guy, and I want pizza more than anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
When I go by a pizza place, it hurts me more than it hurts anyone else.
I see the way you stare at pizza, and it is from a man who wants it inside of him.
I'm crying inside.
Yeah.
On the inside.
But outside you're like, no pizza.
Yeah,
like, let's
no,
go
gym,
salads.
Like, I eat all the salads and I this and it's such a big part of my life because all I want to do is sit on my couch
and fuck a pizza.
Yeah. And just fucking American Pie.
Well, we're sorry if you're a woman and you listen to this pod and
why, did you have something to do with this?
Well, I will be, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the pod before, but I have been in a situation where I was with somebody and we had an oopsie. If I can put it in that terms.
That's what you called little. And
we both agreed that it would be best to terminate the pregnancy. And this was in a time where I was like in the middle of my disease. I was like drinking all the time, and I knew that if I were to have a kid in that moment, it would just be like it would be terrible for everyone involved. Yeah. And so we kind of had that agreement. It was more of me being like, my stance is, if I could weigh in, I would be okay to not have this kid. But ultimately, whatever your decision is, I will support because it's my responsibility. She agreed, and it happened. And if we weren't in a situation where it was legal to do so, and I had a kid, like now, I'd be like, oh, it'd be great to have a kid. But then I wouldn't have really been available emotionally. It would have just really, really threw a wrench into what we were both doing. And I'm thankful for the fact that service was available back then. And I know there's a lot of people that are in that same boat and whose lives could have been thrown in a whole other direction. And it sucks now that it seems like we're regressing as a society. And now like other things like gay marriage are like in the crosshairs of the Supreme Court because we have a right-leaning conservative majority in the Supreme Court, which is we knew was going to happen. We kind of knew that this was going to happen, but it has happened, and we're so like dumbfounded by it. But this is all because of like one fucking lunatic that was in office that set off a whole chain of events, and that's as political as I'll get on this pod. Yeah,
Trump could ride a bike like a motherfucker, son.
What's that mean?
Dude can ride a bike. You didn't see Biden fall off the bike?
Oh. I heard, yeah. I stopped watching the news.
I have two questions.
So I don't watch. Biden was elected.
I watch nothing.
My news intake's gone to 0%.
Yeah, you're just like, he's doing a great job, and then you just go on with your day.
I think he's doing like a pretty poor to adequate job, but it's way better than like the constant mess that I felt like we were in before.
So I have two questions. One is, do you give Gabby permission and us as a pod to title this episode Kassem's Oopsie? Is that okay?
I think that kind of diminishes the event a little bit if we were to title it.
Okay.
Title it that.
I'm trying to get a feeler out there because that would have been
Kassem's baby oopsie. Click.
Oh no, we could call it Kassem's Oopsie with the the baby emoji.
With pregnant girl with an X. Yeah, no.
Oh my god, I was gonna can we
It's good. Good.
Yeah, it'd be real good
if there wasn't two people involved in it. If it was just my oopsie, then I would be fine with it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little insensitive to the other person.
And then the other one is when you said you think it'd be bad for everyone involved, meaning the baby,
me, her, and the baby.
Yeah. Who do you
my
think
parents, my brother,
who do you think it would be the worst for? The baby, you, or her?
Probably the baby. I mean, financially, I was in a situation where I could afford anything. I could afford care, a nurse, but like the baby's now, one of its parents is like a complete mess drunk
No, look how great you are now. It would probably be like his 7th birthday now. He'd be
Would've
coming
been a
home.
her.
Daddy would be, oh,
I felt it. Felt like it was going to be a girl.
I thought you knew. You didn't.
No,
plan
no.
it out.
We aborted it when it was 1.
Yeah. I got a guy.
It would have been fine. It would have been fine probably for the baby. I think like it would have been hard. There is also a chance that it could be one of those things where people go like, biggest blessing of my life. And I didn't know it at the
you could have
time.
cleaned up right. You could have cleaned up in the 3rd term.
But there's also a chance
Trimester.
where I just would be a single dad right now, which is not bad. Nothing against single dads. My goal is to have an intact family. Me, a partner, and the kid
Good luck
together.
with that. That sounds tough these days.
Sounds tough, but I've waited this long. Why not, make sure that's solid?
Could you imagine me, you, and Jamie struggle enough?
Me, you, and Jamie having a kid?
Me, you, and Jamie struggle enough to. I mean, that's what it would be technically. If you were a single dad now, it'd be like me, you, and Jamie having a kid. I'd be
That's
over
a
here a lot
sitcom.
more.
Imagine the reality show we'd have.
Yeah, back in the day. But like it's a struggle for me, you, and Jamie to get into a room. Like sometimes, and imagine if you had a kid and you were a single dad.
Oof.
We probably never would have started this pod.
It probably would have been like, no, I got to take the kid. I got the kid.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this fucking kid. Like
I have a dog and I can't have the dog here when we're doing the pod.
Well, when you're doing the pod, but you never have the dog here anyway. I go away for
I know,
I
but
go
I'm
away
not-
for months and you don't have the
Not
dog
because of you. I'm just saying it's because the responsibility is too great because I got a job. I was like, I can't have this dog here all day by itself or I got to give it to my parents.
here. Right.
My
Yeah.
parents would be raising it,
You got a dog nurse.
smoking in its face.
Do they both still smoke?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Dude, they're people born in the Middle East in the 50s. They absolutely still smoke. They're like, people in Japan or China. That's like all you do. So you pray and you smoke. That's what you do in the Middle East.
I like that.
It's kind of nice.
You don't pray or smoke.
Not anymore.
What you
I
want?
quit praying cold turkey.
Yeah, you want to check out that first email?
Yeah, let's take a look here.
Man, I gotta say, people don't like to hear about this on our crew, but like I miss Perry Caravello. I haven't looked him up. I gotta look into Perry Caravello and make sure he's all right.
I saw he was streaming today.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, he's doing good. His numbers are
good.
strong.
Great.
I
love
think he's
Perry.
doing probably way better without us in his life, which is scary to me. Let's make the commitment now that we'll check in with Perry.
Yeah, if Jamie's still sick next week, we gotta try and get him on.
Let's make sure that we coordinate it to where he comes on when Jamie's back.
You're so right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
then they could finally like work out their differences.
Especially her, you know what? Her first one back, we should surprise her.
Her first one back, still partially sick from COVID.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a Perry Caravello guest.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
Hell yeah. Though.
Shout out Tom. Shout out Toom. Here's a Sharpie question email. This is from Uriah. It says, hello, Kass, Jamie, and Rob. I just had a dream that I was in college English class and Rob and Jamie were teaching it. Kassem was there as a teacher's assistant. If you each had to teach a class on anything, what would it be? I assume Kassem's class would be on aliens or Sasquatch or maybe Rocket League, but I don't know what Jamie and Rob would teach. Thanks, Uriah. I mean, that's kind of spot on. I feel like I could teach a class on early UFO, sort of like how the government, our first encounters with UFOs, which would be during World War II and work into Roswell and work into the current modern day. That would be like an advanced class, but the modern day sort of Navy sightings and the Congress, Senate hearings, of course, but that's kind of where I'd go with all that with a side extra class for Sasquatch.
From abortion to UFOs, we just cover the whole.
I'm a complex,
Wow.
I'm a nuanced, layered, textured individual. Okay, HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. What's easier than this? If you guys are very busy people, you're working 5 days a week, you got things to do, you want your weekend all to yourself. When do you have time to go food shopping? The answer is you don't. So HelloFresh, when you come home from work, it'll have it all waiting for you on a box on your doorstep, ready to go.
That's right. Choose from 55 or more weekly options featuring pre-portioned, high-quality ingredients picked at peak ripeness. HelloFresh delivers fresh quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week so you can savor summer flavors right from home. You can select meals from the Taste of Summer series that are sure to become everyone's new favorites, like the Old Bay shrimp and sausage boil, and family-style grilled steak lettuce wraps. Yummy. It's cool. You get everything pre-portioned in a package. For guys like me who don't really know how to cook, they make it very easy. You get the recipe cards. It's all there. It makes for a fun date night, too, if you have somebody here that you want to cook with and you don't want to always go out to eat.
And you know what's really nice? You take these little bowls or little cups and you put the prepackaged ingredients in those. And then when she gets there, you're like, you know what, babe? I chopped everything up. I did everything real nice. And they're like, oh my God, look at your knife skills.
That's right. That's like that scene of Mrs. Doubtfire. Go to HelloFresh.com/pajama16 and use code pajama16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Wow. So you got to go to HelloFresh.com/pajama16, use code pajama16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
With our financial advice, our listeners are going to need 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
That's right. Find out why they're America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh.com. What would you teach, Rob? What would you be in on?
You know, when I think about this, like what I would really love to do is like teach something about like economics, but I would like to have people come in who are like brilliant in the space and like have them, I kind of like co-teach with them and come from a space where like I know stuff about it, but I would love to learn more. And this, because I'm constantly like watching these guys online and they talk about stuff in like the charts, like we were saying, when I confuse capitulation with accumulation phase, but like I love like listening to that stuff and seeing it. And I think it's so, and like a lot of it is numbers, and I was always good with numbers.
Oh,
and
you're
like,
great with numbers. You're really good at seeing data, taking it in, and like able to communicate it clearly.
Yeah, and like there would be time even where like in the beginning when we were doing this pod, and I would be like throwing numbers out there, like, oh, we had this many, and you would be like, oh yeah, Rob pays attention to the numbers. I'd be like, I never pay attention to the numbers. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't even because I just like
you do, yeah.
But that's the thing, I just like go by them, and I'm like, okay, like I'm like, oh well, I know we had this last week, and then this week is this, and but I don't sit there and go like, last week we had this. It's just like I can just look at them.
Yeah. So if you could right now, I know you've kind of been out of the game the last few days because you've had your special friend here, but can you give us a 30-second state of the market, like a distillation of like where we're at? I mean, a lot of people know the markets have gone to shit and crashed within the last few weeks.
So, and again, I don't know a lot about the markets. This would just be like, I would love to have people on because I love listening to them about it. I would love to talk to them about it.
We want to hear it through your filter.
Yeah, through my, this is what I get from there. I feel like it's split down the middle. There's some people who feel like, oh, relief is around the corner because there's going to be midterm elections soon, so they don't want things to get that bad. So there's going to be this like these relief rallies and things going to be coming around this. But the people who I tend to believe and who I think are the smarter people in the market, and this is not financial advice in any way, blah, 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 whatever you got to say, they all feel like this is just the beginning of the bad stuff. And like one of the stats that like sticks out to me is they said like almost half of the money in circulation in the US of like US dollars was printed since COVID.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is very bad because some people say that now means a dollar.
The inflation's out of control.
Right. It's like a dollar 2 years ago is now worth 50 cents because there's twice as many.
Which is so cool.
But then I know there's things that they do to like offset that so it's not exactly.
So when the Fed raises the interest rates, what are they doing when they do that?
That shit I don't even know. When it comes to the Fed raising interest rates, it's not like I haven't learned about that.
Right.
I learn about it. I could learn about it right now and you ask me tomorrow and I'm like, I don't really.
Sure.
No, because it's not like numbers, you know, it's an explanation of like, well, if we do this, then like we think this is going to happen. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't really.
I say we can make the turn into a financial advice pod real quick.
I think we just did it.
I think
people are going to be making millions.
Today's pod was a financial advice pod.
Financial advice.
We touched on abortions,
gay pride.
Is there another pod out there that covers the gamut?
Creed? There's no way anyone's done abortion, creed, the economy.
No way.
Because we're in a space that we've never been in before where you can go on fucking YouTube and watch the most brilliant people talk about whatever you're interested in.
Yeah.
We're so fucking lucky. And like, you know, right now, like all these people who I listen to who are so brilliant say, when you find out we're in the best economy of all time, everything is booming, we're at the highest of highs and this, and you go, oh, well, then I should invest. It's like, it's never those people who get rich.
No.
It's always the people, these people say, when it's like, when things are really rough and times are really horrible, and it's like, nobody wants to get, there's a thing called like the fear and greed index when it comes to like crypto and this. And when it's like, at a 6, which it's at right now, or like a 9 or a this, it's like, this is always the best time to invest, but everybody wants
is that
to.
6 in reference to fear or greed?
Fear. So when everybody is scared, nobody wants to touch it. Nobody, like everybody, like they show that I don't know if this is like super boring for people, but.
No. I'm interested because you're interested.
When they show that the like Google trends right now for like the Google search crypto is dead or like Bitcoin is dead is like higher than it's ever been. And we're like, when that happens, and they'll like put that chart next to the chart of the price of Bitcoin, and they're like, the more fear that comes in, the best. These are those times, and they circle them, and that's when you see like the biggest spikes come. Yeah,
I mean, crypto's been around long enough for us to know that this will bounce back eventually.
Right.
It's just more of a matter of when at this point.
Right. You hope so. And that's what a lot of people
hope. And like, there's always a chance that it doesn't, but like more often than not, we can look at the last 10 years or whatever of data and be like, we're going down and eventually we'll come up. But is it going to be 2 years? Is it going to be 3 years? I'm down a lot of money. But I'm also in a very fortunate position where like I can be and not like be full on in panic mode. So you know, that's why they always say, and this is such a fucked out thing, but it's so important, is like, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose, and money that you could, if you lost tomorrow, you would still be okay.
It's like when you lend someone money. I look at it as the same way. And if I was ever going to give someone advice, but this is not financial advice,
because none of this is
what I would say is, don't like, oh, I'm going to put all my money into crypto, I'm going to do all this. But if you're like, hey, I'm thinking about making a bet on a football game, or I want to buy this hoodie, or I'm going to go shopping for something that maybe I don't need, but I kind of just want whatever. It's like, just try it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want, throw $200 on fucking into Bitcoin or whatever, and just see what happens. You could learn, you know, you could just stick your foot in. Because when I was getting into Bitcoin, what a lot of people thought was you had to buy a Bitcoin to get into Bitcoin.
You have to buy one full Bitcoin.
Right. And that's what everybody, at the time when I got in, they were $2,400.
I get why you would think that.
Yeah. And everybody's like, I'm not spending $2,400 on a Bitcoin. I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
you know?
I remember, you know, it's so tough because I just remember having every opportunity in the world to buy it at, like, you know, it's just one of those things, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And part of me was just like, I'm tired of being the guy who's watching all this stuff on the sidelines, you know? So I got a little bit, and then that little bit gave me the interest to start like researching it more.
But here's what happens with something like this to me, and maybe somebody could be like, that's because you're greedy, or that's because you're whatever. Maybe, but it's like everyone I know who got into this shit. It's like, I got in at when Bitcoin was like $2,400 and it shot up to 70,000, 69,000.
Yeah.
And when it was up there, I was very grateful, everything, but then I'd always lay in bed and be like, man, someone told me about it when that shit was $11.
You're always going to be thinking
like, you're
about
always that guy.
What could
where
have been.
My brother got into it much later than I did, and he would fucking hit me up and be like, man, I can't believe you fucking got into Bitcoin at $2,400.
Yeah.
You know, so you're kind of like, and again, I was super grateful for it, and I was like, wow, but there would be those things that would slip into my head of being like, man, some nerd at the poker table told you about it and it was $11, and like you laughed at him, and I'm like, you're a fucking asshole talking to me.
Totally. I'm the same way with comic books, you know? I got in, very lucky to get into some of these comic books when they're very cheap, and then we had the comic book boom last year, and a lot of these books, 3, 4, 5x, maybe more.
Did you ever think of selling anything?
I have. And I feel like I definitely should now, but
should have or should today?
I should today, and I probably should have already. Yeah, because I have this thing where I hold things.
Oh, I'm the same. Yeah,
I don't like to sell because to me it's like a chore, and also I sometimes buy things at a top, and so it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things, you know, I have to hang on to for multiple years. Like my Spider-Man paid off because I've had it now for 6 years. But like a lot of the comics I bought last year, I'm still in that, you know. If the point is, if you like to collect, it's fun. Just do it within your means.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you have to, you know, it's like if somebody said to me, well, should I buy fucking crypto or Apple stock or this? It's like, you know, the oldest, like the number one thing you learn when you're fucking buying stocks or investing money or this is like diversify. Like if somebody was like, I've saved up 50 grand, I'm opening a pizza place. It's like, fuck, but what happens if COVID? What happens if it's like, if one thing can fuck up your whole investment, like if fucking Apple comes out or this. So it's like, if you have fucking $200 to invest, now that you could buy fractions of stocks on certain apps or whatever, you could put $20 into fucking Apple, $20 into Bitcoin, $20 into this, and it's not about like, oh, I'm not going to become a millionaire from $200, but it's about maybe you'll fucking get interested in it. You'll learn in it. And I think people think like, well, to be interested in that stuff, like you need money or to this. And it's not the case at all. Like I study and like listen about stuff that I have no money involved in.
Right.
I just like, but again, some people probably find this shit so boring, and I apologize if you do.
No, it's fine. You know what we should do? Because I did ask our Instagram for some questions for the pod, so we should get into that. Okay, well, here's one from Speak of the Devil, Perry Caravello Live. And the question is, was Perry scammed out of his land? I don't know what that's in reference to. It's because is that something that happened while we've been out?
Oh my God, what's going on?
I don't know.
Hold on. Let's see. Should we see if I can call Tom right now and see if he'll pick up? Do we have another question?
Yeah, let's get through some of these. Let's rapid fire through some of these.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a crazy question from N64 Rescue. They ask, what's the best N64 game ever? And the only reason I bring that up is because you played a lot of N64.
That's really tough, but I think we might have answered that. But I mean, GoldenEye is like revolutionary, right? But
GoldenEye, I'm a big Mario Kart guy.
I was gonna say Mario Kart is great too. I have
Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
I'm like very. Here's Tom. All right, Perry Caravello exclusive, guys. Hold on.
Here we go.
Yo.
Hey, sorry, I didn't realize I had my phone on silent.
No, don't worry about it. We're recording Pajama Pants right now, so you're on.
Hey, Tom.
Oh, hey guys, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No. We called you because we wanted to ask you a question.
We had a question on our
I'm
Instagram.
actually on the air too, so.
Oh, perfect. You could play this if you want or
Great.
whatever.
You have full consent.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, guys, I have this is Robert Eiler from Pajama Pants. So Robert, say hi.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? I unfortunately I've been traveling for like the last month or like 6 weeks, and my life has been crazy, and this is the longest I've gone without being so up to date on Perry Caravello. And
You picked the right time because we've been off for 6 weeks.
Are you kidding?
No.
How serendipitous.
This is our first stream back. We've had a hiatus.
Oh my God, that makes total sense, and that's probably part of it too. Why I haven't been up to date, because it hasn't been like on my feed.
Yeah.
Right.
So
tonight was the first night back.
Great. You guys hear that? If you're listening to this, Perry Caravello's first stream back. Welcome back. And we had a question, actually, Tom. This is Kass. We had a question on our Instagram. Hey, and it says, was Perry scammed out of his land? And we didn't really know what that was in reference to.
Yes, he was. That
Wow.
was a big topic of conversation that came up on tonight's stream. I'll quickly give you the digestible version of it.
Yeah.
Please.
So a couple of weeks, so we've had to take some time off, and during the time off, Perry called me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Tom, my brother Kenny needs me to sign some land over to him. And I'm just like, and I was in the middle of a couple of other things because I've had some family issues I've had to take care of. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. Is somebody pretending to be Kenny? So the bottom line is, it turns out that Perry has land in Arizona in his name that he got 35 years ago, roughly, sometime in the 80s. And Kenny, his brother, is now selling that land and needed Perry to sign the land over to him, which sounds, does that sound right to you? Like, just off the bat, what I've told you, does that sound kosher?
It sounds like a Netflix documentary in the making to me.
That's super fishy, Tom.
Yeah,
Right.
no, this sounds horrible.
So this gets worse. And I said, Perry, whatever you do, don't sign any documentation. I was trying to ask him questions. Now, as you guys know, Perry's not the most reliable narrator.
Sure.
So I'm trying to piece together. Wait, now I've never heard about this before. I've known Perry a long time. It's the first I've heard of him owning land in Arizona. Okay. Now, Perry doesn't own anything of value, but he has this land. So anyway, long story short, Kenny wants Perry to drive to Arizona to sign these documents. I said, Perry, whatever you do, don't do that. I have to go. And I had to get off the phone because I was staying with my parents. And I said, we'll talk tomorrow, but whatever you do, don't sign that. Now, in the interim of me talking to him again the next day, Kenny sent a woman to meet Perry at Denny's for him to sign this document. And when I called him the next day to talk more about this, he had already signed it.
Oh my God.
I bet she was a decent looking woman. That's why.
I mean, Kenny was, and by the way, Kenny is known as the cheap brother.
Kenny's the cheap one.
Remember, he was hitting me up for my HBO Max password 3 months ago.
Yeah, and then he watched everything in one night, right?
Yeah, he watched everything in one night except Perry's show, except the show.
Oh my God, Tom, that's crazy. So essentially he handed over his land to his brother and had no idea what he was signing.
Had no idea what he was signing and has no idea what the value of the transaction.
So can you tell us how did Perry handle the 6 months no streaming? 6 weeks.
But also, how much was that land worth? Did we look it up?
Honestly, I don't think I've looked up, because I was doing the stream, but I had people looking it up and sending me things. Honestly, it could be upwards of $100,000, possibly more.
Kenny Caravello.
That's incredible.
I mean, honestly, and to be real with you, like not even joking around, I had a hard time doing the rest of the stream because I was so livid by this.
Of course.
We hadn't really talked about it.
So can you give us a quick briefing of how the 6 weeks of no streaming was with Perry? Because I could see it going either way. I could see him missing the streaming so much and wanting to get back, and I could also see him like seeing the sky is bluer for the first time. And
yeah, it was a mix of both. I'll tell you what, there was maybe about a week after he got all set up on a Monday, and he called me. And it was like Monday around 5 p.m. my time, in New York, around the time we usually start streaming. And he's like, "Where are you?" He's like, "We're supposed to be on." And he was all set to stream. And I was like, "No, Perry, we're off." And he's like, "Oh." He kind of didn't know what to do with himself. But he missed certain aspects of it. But I think, and he was very eager to stream today. But of course, it didn't take long for him to start telling everybody that he was going to shut off his computer and screaming and yelling at people. Yeah. But he did. He went surfing. He went skateboarding. He went to Santa Monica. He enjoyed life a little.
Did we get video of him surfing by any chance?
No, but that's apparently coming. No. Well, when I questioned him on the surfing, he admitted that it was really boogie boarding, but he calls it surfing.
Oh, that's all right. We'll take video.
We got to get you and Perry back on the show. We got to kind of schedule that and see if we can get you guys back.
Love it. I mean, he's got a lot to talk about because we still got to dissect this.
This is crazy. This is crazy news. We wish you guys the best, and we really hope that we can come to some sort of conclusion, some sort of fair conclusion here about the land.
And thank you so much for calling us back while you're streaming.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Oh, yeah, we literally just finished. And by the way, as I've been talking, everybody in our chat wants me to pass on to you guys how much the PCL community loves pajama pants, and they think you guys are great.
Well, we love you guys.
We miss you guys. Yeah. We can't wait to see tonight's stream and what happened.
That's crazy. All right. Jeez, guys.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to it as soon as possible.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Good to hear from you. We'll talk to you
bye,
soon.
guys.
All right, bye, guys. Talk to you soon.
Wow, that's fun. That's great that we kind of could sync up in that way.
Wow.
Thank you so much for the Instagram questions. I know there's some that we didn't get to, but we will. I'll save those and we'll get to them on the next pod. But if you guys enjoyed that part of the conversation, look, that we're just talking about what we know, and that's a very limited scope of things. But
it's hard. It's hard when we have company. And Jamie's missing, and we did a pod last week, just the two of us. What are we going to talk about?
You're too hard on yourself.
Bitcoin and Perry.
It was a good pod. I thought it was great. And we thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. That way you are notified when the videos go live, which is on YouTube every Tuesday morning. And we're on Instagram and Twitter. Jamie's on Instagram and Twitter. Rob's off the grid. Do not try and contact him. If you have an email you'd like to send it to askpajamapants@gmail.com. Send us your dating profile. Send us a screen cap of your entire dating profile, and maybe we'll look at it and give you some pointers and tips. We have a subreddit, r/Pajama Pants podcast, and we're on TikTok. So
and everybody go send Jamie love with
yeah,
COVID
Flutter.
And hugs and kisses and
Flutter inbox.
We love her and she's the best. And we told her if she needs us, I'll fly out to Austin and we'll
our thoughts are with Jamie and Perry. So until next time, guys, we'll see you then.